Hello guys and welcome back to Div 1 DPC. We're here in one of our last weeks. We just watched a 3-hour warm-up game here for Parker as SG managed to take it over just lost Omega. SG just managed to take it over Omega here in Division 2. If you were watching that, that was quite the match. Exciting for many reasons. And now Parker plays again, this time standing in for Infinity as they have officially kicked off Rises from the team, and they'll be using Parker as a stand-in for the last 2 games. We're not really sure if he's going to be a replacement for next season just yet. They'll be duking it out against Lava, who really is these points because if they do win against Infinity, they will still stand a chance of potentially making it to the Major. Of course, it will depend on some losses from some other teams, either Beast Coast or Thunder Awaken, but it is still possible for both Lava and Hokori to qualify. Infamous, Apple King of Kings, Infinity, and Balrogs are in the other end of things, whereas Infinity really needs these points to make sure they don't go down to Division 2. They still would have a chance if Apple King of Kings still loses. My name is Epulze. I'm here joined by Lilith and RDO. How are you guys doing today? Are you excited for this match? More Parker? Let's go.
Yeah, doing good. Surprising that he's actually gonna play after like 4 hours of playing. That's insane.
Yeah. Me too, honestly. I mean, it's what you get when you like stand in for, I guess, for a Div 1 team. It is, according to the rules, Div 1 players cannot stand in for Div 2 teams, but Div 2 teams can stand in for Div 1 teams. So it's okay. What do you think of the change of eliminating Rises from Infinity? Were you surprised by that, Lilith?
He's not Peruvian, right? He's from Argentina, or is he Peruvian?
Uruguay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's Uruguay. Yeah.
So like he's kind of like the outcast of the team, right? So maybe he would just get blamed. You know, it happens a lot. It does happen a lot. It happens more than people think.
Interesting. Are you speaking from experience there, Lilith?
I mean, not maybe. I don't know. It's not really. I mean, RDO can say he also got kicked, right, from an EU team. It just happens. It's just something that, just the way the team functions, is just maybe they'd rather just play with Peruvians. You know, they also kicked Parker before, now they're just playing with them again. So they'd rather play with someone they kicked before than play with Rises. So that already says a lot, right?
That does. RDO, in your opinion, would you consider Parker an upgrade over Rises for this team?
Yeah, I think he's more skilled, but he has some mentality issues. So it's gonna be interesting to see this match today.
I wonder what you might be referring to with those mentality issues, RDO. You talk about consistency here, or something else there?
More about tilting. He tilts a lot.
Okay, fair enough. Parker's very young though, right? I think he's like 17, 18 or so. So maybe that's also contributing to it. Maybe he has more potential. That's what they see. On the other hand, Lava's been looking really good though. In these past few weeks as well. They've been really progressing. Moose gave us a very excited interview last time we got to talk to him. And they're really gunning for this point. We'll see what the drafts talk about. As Lilith, they banned your Kato. You must be really happy.
Yeah, thank God they banned this hero. I guess we don't have to see this. They also banned the Shout Even banned.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have the team pretty fast, so... Pretty planned, right? Yep. Pretty standard stuff. Opener with Mars, very SA-like draft, and Infinity already knew this was gonna happen, right? They're ready for the first pick Mars. So they have a Windrunner Timber answer. I feel like this Windrunner is probably gonna be a 4. I don't think you're gonna pick your mid Windrunner like this without seeing the enemy mid, right?
Sure.
Not sure how I feel about it. It just feels kind of weird. This hero as a 4 is just feels a little bit lackluster sometimes. I feel like she doesn't have an ult. Because her ult depends on items, right? And when you're a support, you don't really buy damage items.
True. Do you agree with that build that we see sometimes supports like rushing a Maelstrom, that's it, and they kind of stick with that, and they're like an extra damage source? Or do you think that's like a bit lackluster for a 4?
I mean, I think it's good. I think you have to work with what you have, right? If you have this ult that just makes you do more damage, and why not abuse it, right? I think the Shard made this hero a lot better, too. She has like an AoE spell, right? It's more like team fighty. Made it a lot less like useless, honestly, because the only spell this hero really has is the stun, right? Yeah. That's what this hero does.
RDO, what do you think of this opener though? We've oftentimes talked about how Infinity has been all over the place with their drafts. Do you find this to be a weird opener again?
No, I like it. I think one of biggest Infinity problems was picking some weird heroes on offlane They played like Brood, Chen, and something else like out of meta, and now they're picking like standard stuff like Timbersaw. This
Right.
is good for me.
Okay. What about the Lush though? Does that change your mind a little bit? Does that make Timbersaw's game a bit harder?
I'm pretty sure it will, and it's also theoretically it's Leo's style. Lush,
Yep.
he's very good with the hero, and it's also flex with Mars, so it can be Lush offlane and Mars mid. It's a cool opener for Lava.
Are you against them picking their 2 cores this early though, or do you think this can be countered?
I think it's fine because they have 3 bends and these 2 cores flex with each other. So if they get like hard counter at mid lane, they can just swap lanes.
As we see the progressing bans, you're right. They're going to be covering this Lush as much as possible. Lennox, we've often talked about Leo style being like a pivotal part of this team. You know, a pillar. You think Leshrac is the kind of hero that allows him to play that role and scale necessarily to carry his team?
Yeah, I think Lush is one of his best heroes. I think it's recently got buffed, right? The base damage got buffed, so his laning got buffed. Leo Solid's one of the mids that has a really good laning phase, and he's the type of player that he wants to win the lane really hard and snowball off the lane and his early rotations. So that's exactly what Lush does now, right? He's like a range hero that can win the lane. He can take towers really early, does a lot of damage, can kill people. I think it's a perfect Leo style hero.
What do you think the hero stands in general? Because we haven't seen many Lush picks, only in SA really.
Man, I think this hero's strong. I think after the buffs, the hero is strong. He scales really well. It's a little bit tricky picking this hero early like they did, right? You need a... You probably want to see a reason to pick it. I mean, this game, they see the Timber, right? So it's just a damage source to kill the Timber. But the hero can suffer against some matchups, right? He can suffer a lot against, like, Viper. He's not very good against Scotty heroes, right? Scotty's a very bot item in the meta. He still has, like, these weaknesses. Like, I guess Nyx is also just annoying for this hero. They didn't ban it this time. But if any really want to, right, they can pick Nyx. And it kind of ruins the hero.
Would you then run, what, Wind Ranger 5, Nyx 4? Or do you think Nyx 5 is okay? Oh, they're on Undying instead.
Yeah, this side the Undying. They could run the Winner mid, right? And just put the Nyx 4. They really wanted to, but... I'd rather them not do it. I think this Timber Nyx lane would be very awkward.
What about the Undying? What are your thoughts on that?
It's just, I guess they're just picking it because they want to win the lane against a Mars. I'm not exactly sure. They don't really have stuns, right? This hero is kind of awkward with no stuns like this. They have 1 stun. Undying is good against Lesh. It is a very good hero against Lesh. Lesh can't kill the tomb, and the ult slow ruins Lesh a lot. Like the Undying when he ults and hits the Lesh. It is very good against Lesh in the team fight. The way they fight, right? The way the heroes interact. Like, Lesh wants to run in, and he's going to run into a tomb. He's going to have zombies stacking on top of him. Doesn't really want to waste his time hitting the zombies, right? He just wants to run in, and he's going to get continuously slowed. In theory, it is good, and it wins the lane, right? So that's probably what they're thinking.
RDO. Lava's run this combo a lot, the Mars Phoenix. Is this the kind of game where it's kind of a free Mars Phoenix game, do you think?
Yeah, they don't really have any heroes that can hit the egg, and Mars protects really well the egg, so it's very good for me. And the Phoenix won't be punished in lane because they have weak laners. They have like Timbersaw, Wind Ranger, and Undying +1. It's not like a heavy laner like a Weaver, for example. Weaver could destroy Phoenix.
Sorry, but to an idiot like myself, right? Undying seems like a strong laner. Can you explain why he's not the heavy laners, you say?
He's not a heavy laner against a Phoenix, because Undying relies on hitting heroes, and Phoenix just counters it with his W. It seems like it's a very good matchup, because it's strength against strength, but I think it's even, because Phoenix just counters it with his W.
So yeah, thank you for that, RDO. Every day I become a little bit smarter with you. Do you think the Weaver was also partially to cover the Phoenix and also hit the Tombstone? Do you like this Weaver pick here?
Yeah, I like because they have zero heroes that hit the Tombstone, and Weaver is also doesn't get affected by the zombies, so he can always be ready to hit Tombstone. And Timbersaw also gets affected by the Swarm. He doesn't really hit 3 times the Swarm.
Yeah, Can I
strong
ask you as
laning
well?
hero.
Oh, go ahead.
It's just like a
You're
strong
saying?
laning hero with the Mars against the Undying. Like Weaver
Mm.
gets a bunch of stick charges, right? Doesn't care about the decay and can just hit the Undying non-stop. They can just go on the Undying. He's gonna be pretty sad. It's just strong lane with the Mars against the Dirge.
Can I ask you as well, when you compare the Phoenix and the Undying, right? And you have, like, say, a team fight where both Tombstone and Supernova manage to fulfill, which one is the most necessary to hit? Like, which one is scarier to fight into? Since they're such similar spells.
I mean, I would say the Supernova is stronger.
Okay.
Especially with the shard, right? With the laser. The egg with the laser is pretty impactful, especially against like Timber. They have like these mobile heroes though, the Windrunner and the Queen of Pain. I'm not sure if I like this that much. This Queen of Pain hero, they have one stun. It just looks a little bit hard to execute. Like, not that they can't do it, but it just looks like they need to snowball like crazy. They need to win these lanes, and they don't really have tower damage, right? If you look at it. Because Winner is probably going to be a support. So Quap has to walk up and hit the tower. And ideally they want to win their lanes just 5-man everywhere, right? And just fight. Yep. But it can be a little bit unreliable when you don't have any stuns, and let's say you don't snowball the lanes that hard, you might just be stuck in a spot where you can't really force anything. And if Lava wants to split push, they have this Weaver hero split pushing a lane, Phoenix in the trees using spirits, you know. It might be hard for them to force a fight the way they want to. And they also just don't have Roche damage, right? It's hard for them to force objectives. They need a lot out of this last pick.
I feel like there's a bit of deja vu from when hearing you speak for Infinity, particularly. I feel like they've run similar drafts like these before. The Chet Enchantress was kind of like this as well, right? At least that they had more push there.
Yeah, it does feel kind of awkward. I'm not sure exactly what their thoughts are. I feel like you can't. I mean, not that these heroes are bad. It's just like these heroes combined just don't look good, right? Timber, Undying, Quap, none of them have stuns. Of course, you don't need stuns to win, but it just makes it easier to play, right?
Yeah. Can you venture a guess to what their philosophy might be that's leading into all these drafts, mostly lacking stuns, mostly very lane oriented?
I mean, I would say they're focusing on lane, right? They want this Quap versus Lesh matchup, which Quap will win the lane, but will he win the lane hard enough to actually like dumpster this Lesh into a way where Lava just can't play? And the Undying's the same thing, right? You pick this hero because you want to have a strong lane and you want to be able to team fight. The thing is, if you don't have stuns to team fight to catch the enemy heroes, they're just gonna dodge you, right? And they're just not gonna give you the team fight. The same thing for Timber.
Now we're down to our last pick. So let's already spoken about how much they need with this last pick, but RDO, could you venture a guess as to what pick they could run here for either team, because they both need carries?
I think Lava will pick a support because they banned Bloodseeker. I think this Bloodseeker bans for the Weaver. I'm kind of convinced by that.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like Infinity is in a trick spot because I was thinking about the heroes and I thought Morphling would be the best hero because they need a hero to get out of the arena because they have Arena Egg and he can't really kill the egg because it's a Mars. He'll press Bulwark and you can't hit the egg. And Morphling's banned. There are no carries left with mobility. Only Anti-Mage, but Anti-Mage seems weird for me.
There's the PA as well?
Earth Spirit.
Yeah, Weaver carry.
Good one, RDO.
PA is bad on meta. It's very bad. I don't think they'll pick it. They can pick Lifestore.
Okay.
But the draft will be very weird because they, as I always said, they have one stun. I have no idea what's left for them.
Do you feel like the lack of stuns has also conditioned Lava into running Weaver carry because it's kind of a free game without stuns?
Yeah, for sure. Like he'll have a good lane against the Timbersaw and he'll snowball. They won't really be able to kill him. Only if Quap gets a very good early game and get a early arcade.
All right. Any ideas as to what carry could fix this draft for you?
I'm not sure. I feel like they're just gonna pick a Parker hero. They're probably not even gonna think about like fixing the draft or anything. Maybe even they pick. Yeah, that's a Parker hero right there.
That's a Parker hero.
Yeah. I don't think there's a hero that can fix all these problems. At least they have someone that hits Roche and towers, right? They fixed a lot of their problems already. So yeah, they just don't really have stuns. They kind of have to snowball the game. They have to snowball the objectives and the lanes. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to do it. They've been looking pretty shaky. Maybe Parker helps them, and like playing with Parker makes a difference. You know, playing with a stand-in, it can change a lot. You know, people look at about like the way they communicate may be different. They may be everybody's like higher spirits because they're playing with someone else they actually believe in. I don't know exactly how the relationship was with Rises before, but maybe a new Infinity will show up today. You never know. But I'm gonna favor Lava for sure. I think they should take this game.
RDO, what about you?
Yeah, I'll also go with Lava because they have more of a solid draft.
Okay. The panel goes with Lava because they have a better draft. There's also more trust in them because they're looking like the stronger team. But can Parker lead Infinity to victory? Will this change be enough to bring Infinity back from the dead and get those necessary points to stay in Division 1? We're going to have to see as we go over to my favorite casting pair. It's Epulze and Bowie. Thank you, Avo. No bias there. Bowie, where are you today, my friend?
Well, before I answer you, which team do you think I favor with my background?
So it's a sun, right?
That's lava, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a volcano.
I was between sun and pizza in the oven. So
Pizza in the oven.
yeah, you know, you ever seen a pizza like rise in the oven? You ever seen like those commercials? Like
I mean,
for like
sure,
Domino's
but
and stuff?
that's
Yeah.
like some volcanic pizza, dude. That's from straight up from a volcano.
Right, so lava, right? So if the background is lava, that's kind of spicy as well. The team with a spicy pick would be Parker because obviously he's the particularly tilting pick, right? So he's a very spicy player in pubs. So I'd say you favor Infinity then?
No, I'm definitely going with lava here. I think most of what the panel said makes a lot of sense. I really feel like if there's any chance for Infinity this game, it's gonna be on Pamplona. What they do have going on for them is this Timber Soul pick that can solo, right? Once you have level 3-4, this Timber can easily just chill. And if Pamplona can somehow connect, they do have the heroes to kill the Shrek. I think Claw being very mobile. But Wind Ranger is such an unreliable hero. Those shackles, people like to talk about Arrow, Run Arrow being hard to hit, but Shackle is just even harder. They don't have stuns. Really hard to set up anything that mid lane.
Yeah, I agree, right? Because Shekels does not really depend on how good you are. It depends on how good the enemy is, right? If they're not behind or in front of a tree, then you don't get the full duration Shekels, and you can't really do much about it. Especially until before you get the Force Staff or Blink or whatever.
It's it's really like if Infinity can win in this draft, I actually wouldn't be surprised if they take this serious because this is one of the weirdest drafts I've seen in a while. This is I don't know. This pop hero, Lacoste loves to talk about all the changes. It definitely feels a little bit underwhelming, but it's comfort for PP. Feels like they are going for comfort. They also went for the TA pick, right? Not really a great TA game, if I gotta be honest, but it is something that Parker loves.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes comfort supersedes intelligence here. I mean, in the case of Infinity, the one benefit of the doubt I'll give him is that there was a whole season where they were playing ESL 1 Thailand, and Mariano was leading Infamous back then, right? And you had a couple of the new players as well in Infamous and stuff. And they were doing pretty well. And for the whole season, they didn't pick a single stun in any of their drafts. I'm not even joking. Like, they would pick something like a Wind Ranger, like a conditional stun or a Mirana, for example, but no, basic stun. Nothing like that. All their off players were like Bloodseekers, Timber Saws, never any stun. And they won. They did pretty well. They got like 4th place in that tournament. So, maybe Mariano's just allergic to stuns. At some point, I'm starting to assume there's something going on with him in stun.
It could be it. He's been playing that Chen off lane, that Chen Enchantress off lane we love to talk about. So, but yeah, I mean, as Lela said, you can win without stuns. It's just very often harder. But if they do outplay, if they actually do well in lanes, they can snowball. I think this Weaver hero, it's been a while since we've seen this hero. I do feel like later on the TA probably just outscales this Weaver. She's mobile. She can definitely she fights differently than other carries. But in terms of just like raw physical damage, the TA is just much superior in my opinion. Just pretty strong hero in this meta.
So you, as just a carry, right? If I'm just putting the two carries in a vacuum, it's much better to pick TA. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you not think the Weaver changes, the Gemini attack extra damage and stuff like that, actually made her a more viable carry?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely good, but it's not good enough. Like look at TA's talents, right? You have a freaking bash in your in your meld or like 7 refraction charges. Like her 25, I would say, is even up. Like Weaver is better, but TA is just really strong.
I think Weaver has it's just such a good pup here. The lollipop, a very skewed idea of him because without coordination, it's much easier to get away with a Weaver game. Of course, that said, there's no stunts here, so there's no amount of coordination you could get to kill this Weaver this game. It does feel like a pretty good Weaver game.
If it is a pretty free Weaver game, I would agree. Also, this Weaver here also plays much faster tempo. So if Lava, that we do kind of agree is the better team, get the upper hand in this first 5 to 8 minutes, I could see this Weaver just joining fights like Kotaro loves to do, actually. And they could just end this game in 20 minutes if the Weaver snowballs. This here is really good at that.
Yep. And the whole team is pretty solid with that, right? Like Mars gets a pretty good mid-game timing, Lesh is the biggest pusher in the game, so you got a pretty good fast timing as you explained as.
Overall though, BP doing well, you know. This is one of his favorite heroes. Is actually like 19-3 right now. His rotations, or whether they rotate to his lane, will really dictate whether they can stop the possible snowball from Lava. This bottom lane though, it's been a while since I've seen a Timber struggle this much. Kotaro playing very aggressively, but I don't think the lane should be that one-sided. Even bought a bracer for himself.
I would agree. I mean, well, the panel did touch on this. RDO was saying, and RDO is used to be a Weaver spammer. I remember him back in Bait. He used to play a bunch of Weaver carry. So I trust this assessment. If he thinks this lane is really easy for Weaver.
No, it's easy. Oh, obviously, it's easy for Weaver, but I think they should both kind of farm, you know? I didn't obviously expected Kotaro to have a good game, but I expected this to be more of a farm fast than, you know, Mariano just feeling so pressured. I guess like a big part of that is just Wind Ranger being, you know, kind of a bad hero. Just doesn't do that much.
It's true. I actually, if you saw her in Eastern Europe, obviously when there were games back then, you saw a lot of Wind Ranger 5 being played. They were experimenting with that, and she seemed stronger because as a 5, you actually have a decent lane. You know, you don't have to do as much as a 4. But as a 4, I agree with you. She's very lackluster, and I'm surprised people still play her as a 4 as commonly.
One thing this Wind Ranger hero does, very similar to Kotaro, is that she's mobile, and you can get those stacks. You can see that they are focusing a lot on that. They really want to enable Parker. So that is something this hero will do, as long as they don't actually steal the stacks, which they do have the heroes on Lava to do so. So far, no vision coming in the dire triangle, but I'm sure Lava is aware of what's going on.
By the way, since we talked about these lack of stuns a lot, do you think that Infinity is going to be able to make up with this with items? Do you think we're going to see builds like Orchid on Queen of Pain, for example, stuff like that, to try to be able to catch this Weaver a bit easier?
I mean, you remember that Limp game we watched where he went to Orchid. I think if PP stomps this lane harder, he might be able to go for that. Otherwise, like, they have a lot of stuns themselves on the side of Lava. This Quap is very successful to dying to, you know, this Earth Spirit Silence. So I do feel like either BKB or the status resistance is going to be necessary. Oh, speaking of their spirit.
Prada? Yep, Prada is just a freebie here. Leostal deals way too much damage. I hit the Pulse Nova level 6. In comes Cat U as well, but PP has a haste rune. And in fact, he sees the opportunity to go for Wu. There's the one stun used. Pamplona doesn't hit the shackles. PP is so slow. He does have the Sonic Wave though, so it's mostly going to be a kill on Wu if he wants to use it. Does he want to use it? There we go. And he even clears the wave with it. Full efficiency from this mid laner. Now he's out of mana, taking a bunch of tower hits. Okay, BB, stop. Stop dying.
Yeah, it's not even a question of whether he wants to use it. He had to, or else all of that undying death would be worth nothing. So, not great that he had to use that to kill the Phoenix, honestly. I feel like they really need to stop Leo style. As Lelo said, if you can't really put an end to the early game of Leo style, he's just gonna... They're gonna F-ball on the side of Lava with this Mars protecting the Leshrac. Right now, sure, he's a little bit behind in CS, but I don't feel like they feel hurt at all what they're doing. I do like what SG is doing, though. They already rotated Parker. He gets a stack for himself. I would like to see them addressing the stack before there's any, like, vision coming from Lava because they will actually smoke to contest that ancient. And I don't think the team fight on Infinity. I mean, do they even have team fight with the heroes right now?
Yeah, they drop Tombstone, right? And they pray that you stay in the Tombstone long enough so that the zombies can do damage. That's
Yes.
the team fight they have. Like
Mariano, though.
I guess Papita just stays in the area. He starts praying like, please, please, please don't go. Please don't leave. Please, please, please. And that's kind of how the team fight goes. Look at this. Look,
Yeah.
they're gonna start top. See? Oh no, they found the TP button. Oh, Bowie.
Wow. Guess that's pretty strong, huh?
Yeah, they're screwed now. Now they know how to TP back home. I don't know how Infinity's gonna deal with this strategy.
Yeah, by the way, Kim does scout the ancient stacks right there. Pamplona, they did farm the large camp stack
Parker?
mid lane.
And they've also farmed the TA apparently. She has no refraction anymore. Parker turns back. There's a nice shackle shot though as PP joins in again, but no Sonic Wave this time. Prada nearby as well. They need a little bit more damage to finish off Leo. There's the blink with a Scream of Pain. Leo, they're trying to deny him, but PP actually gets the kill. And they're gonna be able to at least exchange a mid laner for a carry. Pamplona, nice shackle again, and he's able to retreat for now.
As they were running away there, Katio tried to deny the lash, but I feel like if he didn't attack, they wouldn't get the kill because the Cop doesn't have enough move speed to chase the lash. So kind of unfortunate, but still they kill Parker. It's still a Lava favored battle for sure. Mariano though scaling a lot. He's cutting the wave. Weaver obviously can't really do much about that. Doesn't like tanking these creeps that will force the tower. So, I feel like Mariano will have a very strong power spike. The question is whether he's going to TP to the top lane, because I think the push is coming, and they're not even waiting for the catapult wave there. They'll just lose the tower if the Timber doesn't TP.
And it doesn't seem like Mariano is interested in this at all. If Timber TPs, will he just die though? Like, is this Lesh, right? He's hit level 6. I don't think Timber can hold his own.
He's setting up, but they already have vision with the Warp from Lava, so I'm not even sure they'll be able to do anything.
There is a TP coming in from Wu. Oh, sorry, from Prada. Sorry.
Yeah, Coco's bottom. They're gonna try and
their
change.
Name constantly.
Yeah, dude. South America, they didn't actually have that problem, but in the last year, they really decided to go with these name changes. Especially
Lava, dude. It's like, oh, new team, like same team, different names. People won't claim us then, I suppose. Maybe that was the strategy, honestly. Kotaro's back to his old name, so he's the only one I don't call by Minos, because I think Kotaro is fine as well. Kotaro is capable of making it out of here alive, and now the Timbersaw's gonna take this tower. Not bad, huh? Timbersaw taking the tower around the same time as the Lesh takes his. That's pretty good.
Oh, this is fine. They keep on farming with Parker here. The ancient stack was farmed. So he is looking pretty good in terms of net worth. The question is, how much time until Weaver starts joining fights? Because Kotaro can definitely do that a little bit earlier. He already has this Maelstrom. I'm kind of curious on whether he's going to go this Dragonlance route, if he feels like rushing BKB is enough for them to really seize the momentum of this game. But so far, it's actually looking pretty good for SG. I think this TA...
Okay. Mariano could be in trouble here. They put him against the wall. Mariano does have full reactive armor charges. Magic Wand on top of that. Mariano's tanking this for now. And he Timber chains to safety. Mariano will live. Hard target to kill as they have plenty of stuns, but not enough damage just yet. From behind, BP also tried to snipe Moose here. BP realizing he has to TP back home, and he will actually be killed by the Swarm. That was too hasty and maybe unnecessary play, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely was a little bit too much coming from him. I mean, they do defend mid, which I think does play... I actually said SG just because Parker has the SG tag, but yeah, it is really good for Infinity. As long as they can keep farming, and they play... Like, they actually defend this mid tower, I actually think this plays into Infinity's hand a little bit. This TA, having an early Deso or BKB is a strong timing. The question... I guess what's actually really good is that Lava feels forced to push, to jump, and that's when Infinity shines. Like, if you are the one jumping, having stuns matters a lot. But if you can counter-initiate, you don't care about it that much. So, I think there is a chance that Infinity can win fights if Lava forces them too much. Just because of, the lack of stuns being a lesser problem when you get jumped. Speaking of being jumped, from Plona.
Moose, even though he got the silence, it wasn't exactly what he wanted. So Infinity is capable of at least surviving with Pamplona, and Parker slowly getting his items. Do you think once you get Desolator on the TA, they can try to force a fight here?
Yeah, I think they can maybe use the 15-minute timing for this tier 1 mid if they somehow get that. There is a chance for them to get Roche, but I feel like they have to smoke and force. They have to like force a fight where they're not willing to commit, but somehow Egg gets used. If they can force Egg or Arena, they should be able with the Tombstone to force Roche. The question is actually or baiting Lava into that, because I'm sure they know that if they use a couple of spells, Roche becomes very easy. Oh, bottom lane. They lose PP.
Kim, or Boone, sorry, could be in trouble. Chakram, there we go. At least a counter kill. Pamplona also dies to Kotaro, and he breaks the tree there. So they miss the Timber Chain. Prada realizing he can't really hold his own against this Weaver, and Kotaro will be able to retreat. Maybe not. Maybe not. Mariano.
Parker.
He wants to keep pursuing him. Kotaro still has a time lapse though, so it's fine. Parker, top lane, in trouble. There's the combination of Arena, Blood, plus the Supernova. Parker has no refraction. He does activate the trap, tries to hit back with a meld, but unfortunately that's not going to do enough. Leo style does die in the mid lane, however there's fights going all over the map. There's only so many my camera can catch. Or rather, by that I mean my observer, not me.
One camera, 3 lanes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, crazy fights. I think it's a pretty big mistake that Parker dies top there. It's really gonna hurt our game. Kotaro is just snowballing harder and harder. Like, he's actually participating in all of these fights and matching the farm of the TA. But this is never a really good sign when you have this hero that relies a little bit more on actually hitting creeps. This is gonna delay the Deso timing. I mean, I guess the Deso is up, so I do apologize about that. We'll see how this 15-minute timing goes. I think that's the biggest thing for Infinity right now. They're not even waiting for the catapult, which I kind of like. If they can force Glyph and then go back with the catapult, that is a good way for them to take this. They do know the Arena and Egg were forced. So this is good. This could even be Roche, depending on how things pan out here.
The tower in the mid lane is going to fall here. And as you said, this could turn to Roche. Will they do that though? What is SG's choice? It's to retreat and maybe go into the jungle now, Mariano. Okay, he's realizing maybe that's not the wisest move.
Yeah, the timing was not as fast. You know, the Egg, it's a pretty long cooldown, but it took a while for them to actually commit to the tower. They also had Glyph, but you know, not too shabby. I think this, like, when I looked at the draft, I expected much less. The lanes ended up being pretty favorable. This Timbersaw is looking pretty strong. The question is, like, okay, top lane, Frank.
Yeah, and there's the Arena Blood completely blocking Pamplona. But we do have a Shackle Shot soon. Frank knows he can't TP, the Shackle Shot used. Now the TP is an option, but Mariano comes in to cut him down. In the bottom lane, though, Parker could be in trouble, but at least is covering him. Parker, he wants to avenge his himself, actually, his moves. He's stuck here. Rolling Boulder, he tries to go up to the high guy, he gets hit by the meld. Here comes the hit for the meld, and that's enough to blow him up. You know what? Infinity's kind of doing it.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about with with regards of not having stuns. Like, if Lava had this like more chill sort of draft, I really feel, and they had a hero that could outfarm the TA, then not having stuns is terrible, because you're the one that feels forced to do moves, to gank, to force Roche, and that's not that necessary, honestly, with the CA pick versus the Weaver. So it's Lava just like jumping, and as long as Infinity shows up and press Tombstone, or the Timbersaw shows up, they can actually fight once Lava uses their mobility items or spells to commit to the fight. This is definitely playing a little bit into their advantage, and unfortunately though, they don't use that Arena cooldown to do anything, so I'm a little bit bummed out by the fact that Infinity is playing a little bit passive, but this Blink Dagger is really what might change things for them. Yeah, I'm going pretty deep here.
Frank. There is the Arena Blood available for Frank, but also Frank is just going to die. So that's going to be a free kill. And maybe a tier 2? Is that possible? Can SG push it this early? That's pretty wild.
You can force Glyph at least. I think forcing Glyph would already be a good enough of an advantage. they cannot force Roach on the side of Lava right now, so that's why going for this move. Usually it's pretty, scary to go for something like this, especially when you have the TA, you're the one that wants Aegis. But knowing they don't have the numbers or the damage to the Roche does allow Infinity to go for this move. They're gonna force Glyph probably, and then I think it's actually pretty dangerous for them to stay here. They already had the Tombstone committed. This could become a wraparound. It's actually coming on right now. Nice. They break the smoke. Really good by default.
Yeah, that's true, but it's kind of a pincer maneuver now as they catch Mariano against the arena. He goes. Parker, at least capable of making out of here alive. They did kill Leo pretty early, but Supernova got committed. They send back PP, who's been silenced. PP needs to blink away before the stun comes in, and he does. Prada, though, he's still dying slowly but steadily. To that Magnetize, the Sunray will help. But frankly, considering how much they forced there, killing Leshrac and only losing 2, not that bad. Not that bad at all. In fact, Kotaro's here. They see an opportunity, Sonic Wave committed, and they do kill Kotaro. It's a 2-for-2 Bowie, and it goes the way of Infinity.
Yeah, I mean, 2-for-2 cores against position 5 and an offlaner. So this is really good for Infinity overall. I would love to see them force Roche, man. There's no egg, there's no arena. They know all of the cooldowns were used. I guess some TPs were used to go bottom. This could be a big timing for them. The Undying is going to respawn with Tombstone ready. They're already here, so it does become a little bit harder. Nice move by Lava, at least. Posturing. But they gotta be careful. I guess, like, there's no stuns on Infinity, so they don't have to be careful. They're gonna force this. I like it.
Let's see. I mean, despite them being dire, they're taking advantage of this Roche quite early, thanks to the TA. That's why the TA was so crucial to their lineup. We don't have Supernova. We don't have Arena Blood for another 11 seconds, and they get rid of the Phoenix first, so that's going to make it impossible for him to use anything. And in fact, if Frank dies as well, that's your team fight gone. No more Arena Blood. Okay, Infinity has come to play today, Bowie.
Yeah. I really like this move, and we were talking about it for a while. Also,
they got Moose too, man. Moose was trying to backdoor them, he's trying to catch him by surprise, but Moose just gets turned to mince meat as they take yet another, or they take the first Roche for themselves.
Beautiful.
You're not going anywhere.
And yeah, like, we were talking about the lack of stuns. The Wind Ranger actually went 1-4-1. She only actually maxed Shackle Shot recently. But Lava, it's really tough. Because the lack of stuns can usually be such a big problem, but I think they jumped the gun a little bit too much in the way they were trying to force these fights. And it really allowed Infinity to take fights they usually wouldn't be able to have any business taken. So very nicely done by Infinity. Parker playing really well. They got the early stacks. There was no contest from Lava in really holding Parker down. And now they're suffering all of the consequences of their mistakes.
Yeah. Do you think is that looking scary for Lava? Like, do they have to change their battle plan here?
It is definitely a little scary. I would say they have the advantage late game, but it's Lava. I think they're still supposed to be the better team. They can take good fights if they can wait these ages out. There is definitely, I see what timing for this Weaver. The BKB is up. That Scotty becomes a pretty big problem, but if they just kill Leo style like this,
ooh! Pamplona turns into a pig, tries to dance around, but the Arena Blood will catch the Undying. So at least one supporter is dead, and perhaps 2 as Pamplona also gets caught behind. That's going to be 2 dead. Kotaro chasing after PP, but he's not able to make it out of here alive.
Yeah, just, I don't know. Infinity, they tried to force the move on Leo style, knowing that Parker was totally, far away from that play. Just not respecting what Lava can bring to the table under a tier 2 tower. Like, they have mobile heroes on Lava, and there's a tower there, so they jump the gun. They only lose supports, though, as I said, so I think it's fine. It's just not crisp. I think Infinity could be using these ages to much better advantage to them.
Sure. That is kind of the story, though, of SA and their difficult relationship with Roche, right?
Whether it's taking Roche or using Roche, they're definitely...
The moment Roche got added to the game, SA started losing at Dota. This is very early in the Dota cycle.
Yeah, pretty much since the beginning. Oh, South America. Why are you doing it like that? I love you so much, but... Well, they do get this tier 2, knowing that a couple of spells Arena was used.
And this is the SA high ground. Are they afraid of the high ground? No. Never. They just go forward, They think of the consequences later. And now they thought of the consequences and thought, maybe not. Maybe let's back. Good idea.
All right. They do back out. I'm a big fan that they're actually farming this triangle here from Lava. They're occupying this. They have tons of traps, so really hard for the supports to even try and move here. The question is, and that's also an SA problem, will they hold this triangle properly? Will they
fuck off.
get
They don't do that here.
debated with this bottom lane? They're like, oh guys, I think we should be farming 3 waves, because we have Aegis, right? So we're definitely stronger. And then they TP bottom, and Lava will abuse that to get a kill. Now look at Quap.
Who's that voice? Who's that you just imitated? Who do you think speaks like that?
That's your, I mean, that's actually my allies in my pubs, so I'm not claiming that Lava or Infinity is in my pubs. I'm a little bit below that MMR. But, that is a mistake everyone from, Division 2 to Division 1 to my pubs do. Oh, mid though. We do get the Mars.
You know what's funny is years ago when Peace Coast, or back then Infamous, right, was making a TI9, the reason I was casting those qualifiers and I was telling everyone, guys, this team in SA is actually good. The main reason why I spoke about them being good was because they held the triangle properly. And that was like the biggest thing about them that I was like, this team is actually going to make it. So just because of that. And they got top 8 just off holding the triangle, Bowie. That was mainly it, man. So I completely agree with your assessment.
Yeah, they did an okay job. The Quap actually went bottom but never showed in lane, so I'm okay with what PP did there. They also get the Mars kill. They're gonna get a tier 2 tower. Overall, I would rate these Aegis usage from Infinity like 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
I think they,
pretty good.
Couple of hiccups here and there, but overall pretty crisp. And they're gonna force this until the Phoenix respawns. After that, okay.
Mariano got cancelled there. Silenced. Swarm. Oh, Arena. Mariano.
What?
Out of the arena just in time, though. You can Timber Chain out of it. As Mariano does get hit by the Spirit Vessel, but he continues forward. Kotaro realizing that he can just get a free kill. But Parker going for Leo style here. Perhaps Frank. They're dividing their attention a little bit too much. Both will get out for now. Parker wants to go in for Frank. But Frank has the bulwark on. Here's the help from PP, and that kills Leo style finally. Kotaro thinking of re-engaging. Time-lapsing immediately before that meld hits. As Infinity is capable of retreating in time. They did get 2 kills for 1. Only losing Mariano, not too bad. Parker's crazy, man.
Yeah, I think that was a big mistake from Lava. They got baited by the Aegis respawn timer decreasing. And usually, if it's the Wind Ranger running away, if it's the Quap, you can probably go for that play. But it's your Timbersaw, and Phoenix was still respawning. So they pretty much commit everything to Timbersaw. Sure, they kill him, but at the end of the day, you're going to lose Leo style. Parker never really struggled, and your triangle still being farmed. So this Weaver will start to fall down a little bit, and look it up. Team is dead.
It was indeed dead. Yep.
Dude, they are definitely holding this triangle. This is beautiful to watch. This is not the Infinity we actually cast this whole season.
I genuinely think Papita plays better the less stuns there are in the game. I'm starting to get it. I have seen him play the best games of his life when there are 0 stuns on his team. So.
Okay. So it's some Eternal Envy sort of way here. The harder the game, the better who perform.
So honestly, I don't know, man, but like, I guarantee you, dude. Like, watch over Papita's games, watch his best performances, and they all have teams with very little stuns, man. Even when he was a mid laner, right? He just didn't like stuns.
That's a stat I wish that Dota had, the average stun of each draft and whether Papita has a higher win rate or not. I would love to have access to that information.
I would love to see the average stuns of each draft, because you would see like there'd be like teams like, I don't know, Secret or Liquid that would be like 4 or 5, and they always have a lot of cover. And then at the bottom, Nigma and Beast Coast with 0 to 1 stuns per draft.
Oh man.
Get on it, Knoxville, please. Add that as a stat to that Dota.
We're waiting. I would pay for that stat, Knoxville.
I would
I'll be your
actually,
first
yeah,
customer.
I'd pay you, Knoxville. I'd buy you a beer. Or 5. Not you, Bowie. I'd buy Knoxville. I want to buy you anything.
Jesus, man.
I buy you Swedish tapas, Bowie. That's what I'd buy you.
maybe if I ever go to Sweden. Oh no,
Yeah,
Parker.
There's the refraction, and now the BKB still available, by the way, so that Sunray is a nuisance for now, but Parker can still fight back. Okay, he realizes the TP is the wisest choice. Good help from his supports. Prada just kind of tanking the gank. He will fall. Honestly, support for support, not that bad, as long as Mariano does not throw this.
Yeah, the biggest problem is they're gonna lose the advantage of this triangle, and I mean, unless
Yes.
Infinity stays here, but it could be a mistake. And Roche is going to respawn, so let's see who's gonna benefit from this. All right, pretty long. Probably doesn't matter.
It might not matter as
Hello.
much, and in fact they're going in for this. PP is kind of crazy. Sonic Wave use, but PP is really low on HP. There's the Arena of Blood. PP is capable of at least blinking away, and Pamplona is too fast. Using that Gale Force, he gets rid of the enemy quickly, and Parker has had enough time to come back here. However, his BKB still on cooldown. I'm waiting for that first.
I mean, it's fine. You know, they don't lose anyone on Infinity, but it's just unnecessary. Parker was walking back. If you know, they waited, I'm pretty sure they could have taken the same fight and killed 2 heroes. Maybe Roche if they got lucky with the spawn timer. But it's not gonna matter. You know, a couple of those mistakes where their draft actually allows for that. Pretty much, there's not enough Roche on Lava that if they go for plays like this, they'll just like straight up lose Roshan. He will try to abuse this BKB being on cooldown on PP. Still 22 seconds.
The haste rune though, so seems like he'll be fine for now. As long as they keep their distance, and they are keeping the enemy team at bay. They're fighting their own positions. They actually exchange triangles now.
Yeah, that's the... I am not having a really good game, so as Raiden, I'll invade the big jungle. That's the best we can have. And they're doing a good job. They placed the ward. They're gonna camp this.
And the opposite for Dire, right? I'm having a really good game, therefore their triangle is mine.
Yes, and what happens here is Infinity can actually force the tower and force them back, whereas it's much harder for Lava to do the same. I think they're gonna do this right now, by the way. Yeah.
In general, I think for offensive moves, probably holding Radiant Triangle is better, right? Because you get the Roche potential.
Oh
as well.
yeah, yeah, definitely. It's much better for Dire to do this move.
There's
Yeah, I
so
mean,
many traps here, Bowie. There's so many traps in this triangle, and he does shard as well.
I wonder what Lava's gonna do, dude. They're just losing range barracks.
And now they're losing an Earth Spirit, buddy.
Oh
Earth
god.
Spirit. I don't even know what he got shackled to. Is that even a treat?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's okay, because the arena got used. BKB got used as well. BP. Back to the same starting point. And Roche is going to spawn in 15 seconds, which means no arena, but no BKB either.
Yeah, I actually am surprised Lava held the buyback. A lot of patience there. I think a lot of teams would have jumped the gun with that buyback. They do cut both ways on the side of Infinity, so they really have the right plan on what they're supposed to be doing right now. Smoke on smoke action.
Frank.
God.
Oh my god, Frank! After the break, he almost died here, and he does. Sonic Wave committed for him. Parker still holds on to his BKB. The Supernova has been used. Gale forced to retreat. In fact, TP immediately from Parker. But he's back in the face. Bowie, the Roche just spawned, and Parker just TP'd back home.
Yeah, that was a pretty weird move. But Infinity actually go back to the triangle. I'm actually very impressed with the way they're camping this triangle. This is really good. And it's okay that he goes base just because the Roche on Lava is pretty garbaggio.
Yep.
But
They're
he's
not
not here
afraid,
for
though.
this fight.
There's so many traps around here, Bowie. BKB's been used by the Lesh to prevent the silences. They kill one support. That's the Undying Dead. Mariano retreats immediately. He still has a swarm on him, though. He got the Ags, though, so that means a lot more damage for Mariano. One of his favorite items, by the way. Mariano's still one of the Timber Saws that buys the Ags the most in competitive Dota.
I
I
mean,
that stat off the top of my head.
I think Infinity should be pretty happy this is not Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dota, because I don't think that many trap cards are allowed. Okay, Leo style BKB.
Oh my god. Yeah, breaking Mars and killing Mars. They get him. Phoenix as well. Could be in trouble. That BK for PP has been really well utilized. Phoenix is almost gone. He flies up in the air. He's surviving for now. Moose was not so lucky, and Leo does finally fall. There's the buyback for Moose immediately. Parker needs some help. That Supernova almost tore right through him. He goes invisible. Doesn't want to find Lung with a sentry here. Parker doesn't have a choice. He activates BKB, but the Scotty's still up. Parker, what is he doing? He just turned to melt, and he went for Moose. Parker's going to kill Moose. He manages to fight back as they held back the Weaver, who's now going for PP. Kotaro didn't finish off Parker, instead trying to go for PP. And that canceled him. Those 7 refraction instances made it so that Kotaro didn't think it was wise to search after Parker. That was a freebie for them.
That was really nicely done by Parker. He actually saw the sentry being placed and walks to the left, actually held the BKB for like the most of that fight, and then melts away from vision, kills the Earth Spirit. Really nicely done by them. Really, like, I'm just very impressed with the way Infinity played. Yeah, like, we can take a look at the replay here. Like Parker goes in, they didn't have arena after it gets kind of wasted here.
I mean, I think you kind of see there, right? Like Kotaro almost had Parker here. He gets healed a little bit by Prada, which is pretty good.
Yeah, the sentry gets placed.
The sentry gets dropped. Yeah, exactly. And then he just gets away with the Silver Edge. BKB's melt. He is invisible right now. He can't get caught.
Yeah.
And Kotaro just ignores him right afterwards, right?
Yeah, he would waste too much time there and ends up being totally isolated. Just like really good playing. Even Parker, he actually waited from the time he BKB TP base to join the fight only when his BKB was ready, and they know they can get away with that just because Lava can't force structures because of the map control they have, or Roche because their draft just bad at it. So very surprised with the way it turned out. Like, I feel like if Lava just didn't force things that much, they could have had a much better game. But once you get the advantage with the TA, then this Weaver struggles. The late game just becomes, Parker's dream. We saw like that fight in the triangle with 11 traps or something. It's so hard for the supports to do anything. And yeah, this is now silence on the traps for Parker, which is amazing. All tier 2 towers are
He's had it
down.
for a while.
Oh, so it's the Timber Saw that got it? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, but that's why he set up all the traps. Once he got the shard, he set up a billion traps in the triangle for that purpose. And he actually forced a lot of PKBs. Parker's been playing out of his mind, honestly. I can hardly believe it's his 4th game today.
Yeah, that's after 3.5 hours of Dota 2.
Also, I'll be honest with you, Bowie, I don't know if you agree, but I think he's playing better with Infinity than he did with SG.
I would agree. I think the overall, their plan seems much more... and I think that's what Lelis is talking about when he says about, how the dynamic can change when you're standing, right? Infinity, they have all of these ideas, and they're like, just get the hero you want, and we're gonna make it work out. And I think they kind of adapted to how TA wants to play, and it's working pretty well. Whether they can do this, in 2 or 3 games against Lava, you have to see. I think this TA is going to be addressed next time, but still doesn't really take away anything from Parker. He's been a god this entire series.
Indeed he has. I agree that you should give some credit to probably whoever's making the calls this game, because the calls have been impeccable. That's actually Mariano's, I think, biggest strength is in-game shot calling, right?
Mm-hmm.
More so than his drafting. But...
Shots fired.
Well, no, I mean, because if you check any team where Mariano's actually paired with the drafter, like Axel, for example, they always let the other guy draft, right? And he's the in-game shot caller. Okay. So it's not me attacking him. It's more like he himself says this, right?
I get it.
I'm a big fan of Mariano, okay, my good friend. I'm blown up. Oh, there we go, Sonic Wave. They try to cut you. And
they
the
force the egg.
Supernova
Oh, this is really good.
Prada will die here.
It's great. They force egg and arena for 1 Undying. I think they could go back if they want to.
Parker doesn't even think about it. Of course he's going back. Breaking the Mars. BKB, that's not going to dispel the break. From Silver Edge, at least. Parker won't get the kill, though. He did force the BKB on the Mars now, so I guess that Frank is out of resources now.
And even with Leo style now using Travel Stop, I wonder when Infinity... I think they can just go back. I mean, sure, they don't want to fight because BKB is on cooldown, but if you show your Leshrac like this, it's still like 35 seconds. Are they just willing to give this away? Yeah, they're just giving it away.
Apparently so. Phoenix is dead. Goodbye. Kotaro comes in, gets hit by the shackle shot. Oh no, we're out of stuns now. By the way, they haven't itemized at all for that, by the way. Not a single stun has been built. No Scythe of Vices, no Orchids. Parker? That's the Aegis though. So he's kind of fine. In fact, he's like, alright, thank you, I'll kill Mars. But he missed that hit. And that means Parker is going to die. Frank still dies as well as a result. Parker does come back with a BKB, so should be fine regardless. Is he going to TP back home? Yes, he is. It's been the play of the game for Parker. As PP, he himself also gets the BKB off right in time. He can't get stopped by the rolling boulder. They help with a shackle shot. Moose, sorry, in trouble. Moose dies. The tombstone keeps the enemy team at bay. They don't want to run into that. That slow is a bit of a nuisance. And Infinity will take 3 kills, not lose a single one. Playing out of their mind, dude.
They are. I want to say that TP from Leo style definitely not the greatest idea. I think you either give away the Rex and then everyone just farms the map. You just open up all of the lanes and you just give it away, or the Lash stays in the base and you try to defend. Because the Weaver kind of came in and then they lost heroes for nothing. So I'm surprised they didn't expect Infinity to try and force high ground when you just TP and show the Lash in the opposite side of the map. Very unusual decision making from Lava, I would say. So Aegis is now gone, but I don't think Infinity is in any rush. They could like do 10 extra minutes of this triangle thing we just watched, and if they want to be like very, very safe about this game, because I do feel like they're in a position where they would love to take this series, right? They are in. Can they actually stay in Division 1? I'm not entirely sure. Weaver?
Oh, well, the Hex. Kotaro just gets destroyed.
Oh, no buyback. I think this is GG, Avo.
Yep. I think it is. The tombstone gets used. There's the tower being taken. Pamplona.
Well. Huh.
Parker is going to be able to take these melee racks. Frank has been hexed. And the hex from the Queen of Pain once again coming in clutch. It's going to be another kill into Frank. Meanwhile, they also get rid of moves easily. GG is called in the middle of this fight. They're done. Infinity will be taking game number 1 in this series, Bowie, with an impressive performance. Parker, my guy, is back.
Okay. I think Parker is making a pretty good argument of actually warming up before official matches. He played out of his mind. I think the draft that he had was also not ideal. We talked about it ended up actually working out for them, but I don't think their draft was great. So I'm kind of scared for Lava, honestly. I feel like if they could execute so perfectly, like very few mistakes for Infinity, honestly.
Honestly, yeah.
Lava has to be careful. They have to address this TA. They really need to wrap things up because their draft looked fine. I think this Weaver carry, it can work, and I think it was a good game for Weaver carry. I don't want to blame that in this game. But because they didn't have the win condition, it felt like they were forcing things too much. And that kind of played into the only thing that Infinity could do, which was defend and counter-initiate. So maybe give a different win condition for Kotaro next game.
Yeah, we'll have to see what our panel has to say about this, because I think they're going to be pretty shocked about this. So, Bowie, if you don't mind, I'm going to go check out what Alyssa and RDO have to say about this.
Sure.
Alyssa, RDO, I'd like to formally congratulate you, as you have just fully become analysts of the Dota 2 scene. No longer are you pro players. You have joined the ranks of us, flabbergasted by that gameplay. Tell me exactly, Alyssa, as I see your coy smile there. What happened there for Lava? Why did this draft go so well for Infinity?
I thought the Infinity's macro was pretty good that game. They stacked the Ancients, they played for TA's timing, he hit the Deso, they went straight mid, right? They got the tower. Did the Roche. I think that the triangle camping was really good. Like, he put a bunch of traps in there. The way they took the second Roche fight was really good. They abused buybacks on TPs on the outpost. So I thought their macro of winning the game was very good. I also think this TA hero is a little bit overtuned at the moment, and maybe not let that hero in as a last pick hero. I also think that Leo Sal didn't really get to play this game. I felt like he was very quiet on his Lesh. Maybe they do have the answer for Lava. They just pick a matchup for PP where he's going to win, and Leo Sal is not going to be able to like snowball like crazy, right? He was only able to take like 1 tower, I think.
Yep.
Their mid defense was also really good. Like at 13 minutes, I think, or something, 12. Timber was just mid. He tanked all the spells, didn't die, didn't lose a tower. Another note, I think the Mars was just very lackluster too. Like I feel like he didn't really have any impact on Mars. Not because he played bad, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this Mars Earth Spirit lane is very strong. I feel like when you draft this Mars first phase, it kind of locks you in to not being able to pick like these melee 4 heroes. The lane just looks very awkward. I also feel like the Earth Spirit didn't really have a place in the game.
Okay, RDO, would you agree with that assessment? Did you find like Moose and Frank didn't really seem to appear in that game?
Yeah, they didn't have anything to do, and I also think that Lava's draft was a snowball draft, and they used like Arena and Egg to get a pick off on someone, and after that they got they had to give up Roche because they didn't have their spells. So it was a bit of misplay from them. If they
Sure.
just play for Roche side and get the first Roche, denied the Roche from TA, she wouldn't snowball. Weaver would have more net worth, and game would be different maybe.
What did you find of the Infinity holding that triangle for like the the 20-30 minute mark where they just kept going on the mid triangle? Did you like that play, RDO, or do you feel like they were only able to do that because they were so far ahead?
Found that pretty interesting, especially because Parker placed like 10 traps on the triangle. It was
Yeah.
very funny to see. It was very smart. Like nobody could ever play there. Like Weaver was also scared to play there because he had shard, I think, so he could get bursted if he doesn't press BKB. It was a good gameplay from Infinity, different from last series.
Lelis, I wanted to ask you because we talked about the Weaver kind of having a free game because of lack of stuns, right? But did we kind of see there as well the downside of playing a Weaver carry with how lackluster that is as a carry into the mid game?
Yeah, I mean, this Weaver hero, it's not picked for a reason, right? The hero is not as strong as the other meta carries. You rather have a TI on your team than have a Weaver, right? Weaver doesn't farm nearly as fast. The hero can join fights, right? Kataro was very active, but it just wasn't enough. Like, the hero is just not strong enough.
Do you feel like the hero right now is in a position where flexing 4-5-3 is fine, but flexing into 1 is too much of a stretch?
I think it's fine, but I wouldn't say it's the best, right? You'd rather have something else. It's not like, oh,
Okay.
this is fine. We can just put the Weaver carry. Not really, right? You don't really want to do it. You should avoid it as much as you can.
RDO, do you agree with that?
Yeah, when you play Weaver carry, you kind of put yourself on a timing, unless like you and your mid laner have the better matchup against enemy carry, which wasn't the case.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to see what the second game brings us for Infinity, because usually the team that wins game number 1, they do amazingly, and then the game number 2 is like a different team altogether. But if they can hold it together, Apple King of Kings is currently sweating right now because this win would most likely put them in that Division 2 for next season. Infinity very happy for the return of Parker, and we're seeing exactly why. We'll see what happens as we go over to the next series after a 5-minute break. We'll be back with some more SA Dota 2.